So we've just seen the Gen 3 car. However, I can't help but feel it's a bit of a smokescreen for realistically something that should have happened a long time ago. Now don't get me wrong, the Gen 3 car has been a fantastic leap forward from the Gen 2 era vehicle, with additional power, additional motors, the advent of full regen capability on the braking system, a striking new design. It's a far cry from what we had before, and the Gen 3 EVO seems to be taking that just a little bit further. I like the hark back to the original front wing design that we saw on the Gen 1 era. Let's be honest, the front wings on the Gen 3 era car haven't exactly been very suitable for the sport. They've been coming loose, getting trapped under cars and causing a multitude of problems on the track. So this new design, I say a hark back to the Gen 1 era style, actually could be a good thing going forward, as it does look a little bit more structurally sound and can take a little bit more of a beating than what the current one can. However, this is where the Gen 3 EVO car kind of starts to feel like a smokescreen to me, because let's be honest, apart from the upgraded body panels at the side and on the front, realistically it's actually the same car underneath. It still has the same regen capability, and all it is doing is simply using the electronic front motor that already exists in this car. This is not an addition. This isn't something that has been added on or evolved. It's always been there. It's always been in the Gen 3 car. It's just never been turned on. So realistically, it's not really an evolution, let's be honest about it. Apart from it looking ever so slightly different, and perhaps maybe starting to toy around with the aero on the side pods there a little bit. But other than that, that's about it. The car allegedly is going to herald in the new fast charging era, which, let's be honest, the Gen 3 car was supposed to do. And that's my point. I think this car has come about as a smokescreen in the fact that we haven't had the rapid charging that we were supposed to have in racing. Let's be honest, we're now halfway through the season and we were supposed to experience it in Italy, and it simply didn't happen. Now, Jeff Dodds, the CEO of Formula E, has made it quite clear that they need to do more testing and more testing and more testing, and they won't roll this out until they're 100% happy with it. Well, realistically, they've been testing for over 2 years now, so you can't tell me they haven't got it sussed out. What I think this goes back more to is the fact that ABB made it quite clear at the very beginning that they believe the wrong charging port was installed on the Gen 3 car, in the fact that they believe that a different connector was required to deliver the amount of voltage required to get these cars to charge up quickly. The choice to use this regular adapter, I think, is detrimental to the sport. The reason being is you've got several key players here. You've got the FIA and Formula E pushing for this rapid recharge, as, let's be honest, it's a spectacle to see, and they want to provide a race for people to watch, certainly for people that are now having to pay for it in certain countries. The other aspect is you've got Williams Advanced Engineering, or WAE, and then you've got ABB. Now, one is the battery manufacturer, as we know, and the other is the one that provides the power units. Now, this is where the disconnect is coming in, as far as I'm aware. Now, ABB made it quite clear some time ago that they felt the wrong charging adapter was installed in the vehicle, and the fact that this charging adapter that's currently in there, their concern is over the overheating issues with the amount of current that's going to be passed through it to charge up at such a quick rate. Now, this is the problem. Now, I can see why ABB and WAE are slightly hesitant and want to do more testing, because as you can imagine, that's a lot of power running through that port into these cars at a very quick rate. And I personally feel this is just a smokescreen tactic. They've brought this big car out with a fanfare and a big wow, and watch it go around the track, and put a Formula 1 driver in, such as David Coulthard, to give it a load of press and really hide away from the fact that we're not where we even should be at this point in the season. We should have seen the rapid charging. It's just not happened. And personally, I can only blame it on the fact that the wrong charge port was installed, or there's something else going on at play here. Now, don't forget, as we move into the Gen 4 era, we know that obviously WAE won't be producing the batteries, but as I've said in another video, they're moving away from the pouch style batteries into the cylindrical cell batteries, which, from what we understand, will be able to take a higher loading current. So it may be a case of Will the Gen 3 EVO car even recharge mid-race? Will that even do that? We don't know. Now, if the rumours are true and ABB are right that the wrong charge port was actually installed in these cars and it should have been a different one, then that's another story. And ultimately, that's going to hinder any move forward on this. For me, the Gen 3 EVO car was purely just a smokescreen, just to take away from the fact we aren't where we should be. Let's be honest, it is the same car. It's just had a new body put on it, realistically.